चेत् प्रभु नित्यानन्दा श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौरभक्तवृन्दा हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा. Supriya Mataji, you can continue.
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
So let us chant these Mangalacharanam prayers and then let us start our session. Om Ajnana-timirandasya Jnananjana-shalakaya Chakshurun-militam yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya-manobhishtam Stapitam yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadandikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Deenabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Shri Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Shri Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prashtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesha Sunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, dear devotees. So there is a dwindling of attendance. I think more because I am not very regular. Very many classes were cancelled. But however it might be, let us start. And regarding the fourth chapter, which we are going to do now, have you all read it this 4th chapter already? You all have. So instead of going shloka by shloka, I suggest that the participants will summarize what is in the 4th chapter. Then we will take some special shlokas only and we will discuss that. Instead of going through all the shlokas, some important shlokas only we shall discuss. I hope it is okay. So any of you can, yes, so any of you can unmute yourself and telling us what is there in the 4th chapter. We have seen 1st chapter, 2nd chapter, where we saw what is Sankhya Yoga and who is a Sthita Pragya. And Lord Krishna was focusing on how one should control all the senses, how the senses are all so powerful. And initially, when you control the senses, they will be still, you will still have the desire for sense gratification. But when you experience a higher taste, then you'll be able to get rid of these lower tastes and all those things we were seeing in the 2nd chapter. Then 3rd chapter, Arjuna raised a doubt that should I fight or should I not fight? Which is a better option? Please let me know which is really good for me. Then Bhagavan spoke about Karma Yoga, where he said things which we already discussed last week. And now we are going into Jnana Yoga, which is again answer to the same question. Which is better? Work is better or abandonment of work is better? Which is better? So that kind of discussion is only going on. So kindly unmute and give us points. What is it that the 4th chapter tells us? Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, yes.
Hare Prabhuji. In the 4th chapter, how this Jnana was told by Supreme Lord to Sun God and then Manu, and then how it was in the later times it was lost in the material world. That by starting itself, so Supreme Lord is telling about that.
Yes. Yes. So we see here in the 4th chapter, the Lord is introducing himself to Arjun afresh. Arjun knows him as his friend, and now he has become his guru also. But Krishna is giving a deeper introduction of himself. He is introducing himself as Bhagavan, who spoke to Surya Dev, etc. Yeah. So now we are understanding that not only as guru he is talking, but he is the creator of everything. He is the beginning and end of everything. So this knowledge is coming from him directly. Okay, thank you. Yes, other participants can add.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Prabhuji, yes. Also Krishna says in this about his transcendental body, about his birth and activities. It is all transcendental. And Krishna also says that whatever is passed down, the knowledge which has been passed down right from Sun God, Ikshvaku and all those, Manu, in course of time it is lost, and so again I am imparting this knowledge, and then he's telling Arjuna that you do not remember all this, but I remember. I remember all these. I don't know how to say that. Whatever happened in the past.
Yes,
you don't remember.
Because you have also been there always. I have also been there always. But you have forgotten everything. But I remember. Even though both of us are in existence all the time, not that you were not in existence for some time. You were also there. And in fact, Arjuna was always with Krishna, right? Whatever incarnation he took, he was always there. But you have forgotten, but I have not forgotten. Yeah. So, Mataji, from your points, I have to ask one question. This question is open to all. You said, Krishna said that my birth and activities are all transcendental. So what does it mean? What is it that Krishna wants to convey? Transcendental. My birth and my activities are transcendental. What does it mean?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
I don't know whether I know that clearly, but Krishna's birth and Krishna's activities, his body, nothing can be considered material, and it is above the three modes of material nature. He is not affected by any of the three modes of material nature. It is something which we cannot understand with what we see materially, and it is something beyond our material senses. What I understand is, Prabhuji, it is something which I cannot understand. Transcendental is something which I cannot understand, which
Why
I
we
can
cannot
only understand
understand?
by scriptures.
Why we cannot understand, Mataji?
Because we are we are in this material world, and we connect everything to matter, and transcendental is something which we haven't seen or experienced, which we can understand only through the scriptures and Guru. So it is descending knowledge. So only through scriptures and Guru I can understand. So as far as I understand, Prabhuji, Krishna's the spiritual world, and Krishna is completely divine, and which will be understood maybe when we reach that kind of level spiritually. And that I understand my Prabhuji as of now.
Yeah.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. Yes.
We are conditioned souls.
What is this condition? What does it mean?
We were fell in materialistic world, and we have
How it
forgotten
happened?
Supreme Lord.
How did it happen?
So because of forgotten of the Supreme Lord.
Can you explain the sequence? How it all started?
No, Prabhuji, I can't.
Anyone?
I can't get.
Yeah. Anyone else?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yeah, Hare Krishna.
Shall I try, Prabhuji? I'm not very sure.
Please. Yeah.
Prabhuji, because of our desire to enjoy forgetting Krishna without, because of that only we landed in this material world. As you said in your previous classes, the material world itself is created because of our desire to enjoy without Krishna.
So, fine. So, can you go a little deeper into the understanding so that we can connect it in a more practical sense to our condition today? So we are talking about Krishna as the Nityo Nityanam Chetas Chetananam. He is that eternal person who was always there, and he expanded through his energies. Krishna has external energy, internal energy, and marginal energy. He expands himself through these energies. Through the internal energy, he creates the entire spiritual world. And through the external energy, he creates the entire material creation. And then there is the marginal energy, Tatastha Shakti, which is filled with souls, which Krishna says, Mamaivaamsho Jiva Loke Jiva Bhuta Sanatana. They are all my amshas. They are amshas, but they are also called Prakriti. The Prakriti, the word is used in the sense it is enjoyed. Prakriti is meant to be enjoyed. So whatever Krishna has done is to simply expand his enjoyment. He is the supreme, he was there, and then he expands himself for his enjoyment. So these Tatastha Shakti, the souls, if they really want to give enjoyment to Krishna, they enter into the internal energy. In the internal energy, the Supreme Lord is present, and all the souls which want to serve him, they also enter into the internal energy. They all become of the same nature. In the internal energy, they are all like Krishna. No, like we say, when a soul goes to Vaikuntha, it gets a four-armed form. Shankachakra. Krishna gives a form similar to his own. They have the same mood. They are completely pure. There's no contamination. When we say contamination, all these words mean only the modes. The modes. The enjoyment tendency is manifested by the soul through the three modes only. So the three modes are the nature of the material energy. The entire material energy made up of these three modes. And when the time factor agitates, then these creates forms, and all the forms are again filled with the three modes only. And the soul is totally transcendental. Transcendental means it has nothing to do with matter, it has nothing to do with the gunas. So what it does, the material external world is like a dream only. Like I have a body now, I go to bed, and then I sleep, and then a dream comes. I cannot enter into the dream myself. I am simply lying in bed, right? But I take a dream form. That dream form is not me, but there is a form in the dream, and I identify that this is me. Then whatever experience that form undergoes, I think this is my experience. So my pleasure, pain, everything in that sense, like a dream experience. Because there's simply no way, like oil and water, there is no way soul can become part of matter only. So when the soul enters into internal energy, that's a very compatible situation. The soul is spirit, internal energy is all spirit, so that it's a perfectly compatible situation. So what happens? The souls have a natural affection for Krishna. And when there is natural affection, there is a natural desire to give pleasure. Okay, so I love Krishna and I want to give pleasure to Krishna. How do I give pleasure to Krishna? Then the Yogamaya potency of the Lord creates unlimited ways in which I can serve him and please him. Because if you want to please, it's only a thought, but how to really please? Through service only. So the desire to serve comes, and Yogamaya potency of the Lord creates unlimited ways for. So this is how we actually should appreciate Bhagavan. We talk about creator, maintainer, destroyer, and all that. The Lord has absolutely no interest in this creator, destroyer, maintainer, and all those things. That's why these names of the Lord are called secondary names. Srishtikarta, Nidanakarta, all these things, they are secondary names. They are not the names by which the Lord wants to be known by. The Lord doesn't want to be addressed by these names. Okay, fine, they are secondary names. Primary names are what Krishna is in the internal energy, in connection with his own associates. That's how Krishna likes to be known. So in connection with his friends, in connection with his gopi friends, in connection with his elderly parents, and in the Vatsalya Bhav, these are the association that Krishna really wants. So when the soul enters that, that's perfect. The internal energy, the souls that have entered into internal energy in Supreme Lord. That's why we say in the internal energy, there is no Paramatma only. The souls don't have Paramatma. In this world, we say the souls always carry the Paramatma with them. But the Paramatma is simply absent in the spiritual world. Why? Because there is no need. Paramatma is actually what? He is the hidden witness and he is the permitter. No? Whatever we desire, with his permission only, material energy executes. The soul, like a desire, we are associating ourselves with a material body, and then we desire. Through this body, I want to experience this. Then the Paramatma permits. Permits means he tells the material energy, okay, go ahead, execute the desire. So ultimately, we don't do anything. Prakriti kriyamani gunai karmani sarvasa ahankara vimodhatma karta aham iti manyate. So this is what the soul is thinking I am doing. It's like in a dream only. If you try to closely analyze what happens in a dream, how we experience through senses, which are not our senses actually. No, I am lying in bed. So these senses are not directly involved there. but I still experience sensory experiences in my dream. So this is what in the internal energy, the souls are completely absorbed in serving the Lord, and the Lord becomes happy. And that happiness automatically spreads to all the souls because we are all his amsha. We are all his amsha only. So when the Lord gets pleasure, that pleasure is experienced by all the souls. And when the souls get pleasure, that pleasure is experienced by the Lord. So that way, the same one Lord who is completely Atma Ram, whether he expands or not, he is Atma Ram, he is filled with happiness. His own Hladini Shakti fills him with joy. But then he expands that. So the internal energy is always in action. Not that Krishna will wind up internal energy sometime and again bring it forth. It's only applicable to material creation. Because material creation is not for the Lord's pleasure. Material creation is simply to bring more and more souls back into the internal energy. So material world, he creates and withdraws, like a spider, no? Creates a web out of itself and then it withdraws into itself the web when it no longer wants to play that. So similarly, the Lord expands the material world, and then those souls which are Krishna Bahirmukha, which are turning away from Krishna. They have turning away means what? Somehow I want to enjoy it. Because they are part and parcel of Krishna. Krishna is filled with the desire to enjoy, but that's not a flaw in Krishna. Krishna is filled with desire to enjoy, but that's not a flaw in Krishna. Can you explain how you understand this? I have desire and I am told it's a flaw. But Krishna has desire, but it's not a flaw. Why?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
When we desire, Prabhuji, we are a part of Krishna and we are a small part of Krishna. So we have a little amount of energy. With that energy, we are trying to enjoy. We want to enjoy forgetting Krishna. But Krishna is this absolute truth, and he has vast amount of energy, and so he can I don't know, he can whatever he does is all absolute and transcendental, and he's not dependent on anything else. He's independent. So he is the supreme enjoyer. The vast amount of energy, with the amount of energy he has, he can enjoy. So it is we cannot do that, Prabhuji, since ours is an energy of Krishna. So we have to tune in our activities for his happiness. This is what I understand.
Very good. This we have to digest. Like Saraswati Thakur gives this example of how the hands, the legs, the eyes, the nose, ears, they went on strike once, saying, why I will feed the stomach? I am working hard, but the stomach is doing nothing, but enjoying it. That is the example Saraswati Thakur gives. They went on strike, but the strike did not last even one day. They all surrendered. This is what So actually, Krishna is the one person who has expanded everything. He is Atma Ram. In that sense, he is satisfied within himself. That is one way of saying it. Atma Ram. Always satisfied with himself. The other way of saying it is Satya Sankalpa Shakti. Krishna has unlimited energies. One of them is called Satya Sankalpa Shakti. What is Satya Sankalpa Shakti? Any desire Krishna has, instantaneously it is fulfilled. Instantaneously it is fulfilled. So what is the flaw? He is, as it is, satisfied within himself. Then as he expands, whatever desires, they are instantaneously fulfilled. That's called Satya Sankalpa Shakti. So it's not a flaw. Unlike in our case, where desire, work, fruit. And then karma and vasana. Byproducts come. You desire, you work, you attain, then you develop karma. Then you develop business. So this is the problem here. But when we align ourselves with Krishna, when we are aligned with Krishna, then this problem is solved. How we become part of this arrangement that Krishna has made to expand his happiness. So we just become part of it. And then we are in tune. That's perfect. Like Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ said, I don't want to be crucified, but my dear Lord, I know you are the best well-wisher of all. Of course, I am adding these words. You are my best well-wisher. So for some reason, if you want that I should go through this, then let thy will be done. That complete trust that whatever the Lord does is for my good. Because I am simply part and parcel of him. Why would he do anything that would be harmful to me and get pleasure from that? In this world, we have that situation. I have an enemy. They suffer. I become happy. So here, whole thing has become perverted. Why? Because it's simply a reflection of the spiritual world into matter. In the matter, it becomes perverted. Why? Because each soul is thinking, I versus the rest. We feel that individuality disconnected from the rest of creation. I feel that I am in competition. That's why Darwin wrote, no, struggle for existence. Struggle for existence. Why the struggle for existence? It's not there in the view of a devotee. But from a non-devotee perspective, everything seems to be struggling for existence in this material world. So this is because we are disconnected from, we are misaligned from that one who is Nityo Nityanam Chetana Chetananam Eko Bahunam Yoga. He is the one out of all the other living entities who fulfills the desires of all. He fulfills the desires of all. So he stands out in that way. If I try to fulfill my own desire, I am in deep trouble. But if I align with the Lord's will in complete trust that yes, he is the one and who is the well-wisher of all. Sugrutam Sarva Bhutana. I am the well-wisher of all. So in that way, if we align ourselves, then we are perfect. So that way, the transcendence means simply Suddha Sattva. There is no mixture of material Sattva, Rajo, Tamo Guna. These three gunas, how do they operate? They create a particular frame of mind which dictates this is the way to happiness. This is the way to happiness. So, Sattva is better than Rajo and it is better than Tamo. Because Tamo, you see right as wrong and wrong as right. And you think, what will actually cause misery? You think that will cause me happiness. You think by harming others, I will become happy. So that is the person in Tamo Guna, he doesn't even have an inclination to execute something and then enjoy the fruits. He wants the fruits right away. Whatever fruits I can get. So he doesn't have the principle of dharma at all. His only goal is sense gratification. So that is the worst situation where there is no inclination even to work. Because there is a connection. You work and the fruits will come. That is a trust. I work and then I collect the fruits and I enjoy. But in Tamogun, that waiting is also not there. I want to enjoy right away. There is to hell with work. So that is Tamogun's complete ignorance. Then you rise to Rajogun and rise further to Sattvagun. In Rajogun, there is a link between work and result. And there is some kind of you can see some kind of a faith is involved. I do this and I will experience the results. But such a person, the Varnashrama Dharma slowly guides him into saying, Array, the Vedas are there, the scriptures are there, revelations of the Lord. You follow the Vedas and all your desires will be fulfilled. But mind you, there are legitimate and illegitimate desires. Don't try to enjoy illegitimate desires. That will land you in serious trouble. You better follow the legitimate desires as prescribed. So the Vedas, from an animal-like instance, it takes the human being into the karma kanda section. Don't act whimsically. At the Rajogun level, that whimsical action is controlled for people who accept karma kanda. So that is why it is considered superior. But then Krishna tells you to Arjun, don't follow karma kanda. Why? Because you have already come above that. Karma kanda is for material sense gratification. So he is recommending against that. I think for the next 5 minutes, somebody is going for cremation just outside me. So please chant Hare Krishna and let us all chant Hare Krishna. And I am going to mute myself. Hare Krishna.
Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare
Hare Krishna. I think the sound is now more manageable. So, is this okay? This kind of an explanation. There is still one nagging problem which is not answered. And Prabhupada says, leave it. And my Guru tells, if you get malaria, you see a doctor to get rid of the disease. Don't run after the mosquito which bit you and gave you malaria. How did I get this malaria? Which mosquito bit me? Let me go and find out how. That is advice. Don't do. Prabhupada also said that. Prabhupada said, now that you have somehow landed here into this mess, now execute Krishna consciousness and go back. And then you will know the answer. Till that time, you won't know the answer. Then if a question arises, no, but how do I know? After I go back to Krishna, that I will not again become paramukh, that I will turn away from Krishna, and I will not come down to this material world. How do I know? Further, we have the word of Krishna himself again and again and again. Mamapetya punarjanma dukkhalema shashvatam napnuvante mahatmana samsiddhim paramam gata. Abrahma bhavana loka punaravartino arjuna mamapetya kaunteya punarjanma na vidyate. In many places, in 8th chapter, so many other places, Krishna will say, once you come to me, or come back to me, there is no returning to this material world. Internal energy and the external energy, and we are the marginal energy. Krishna gives the assurance that you come back to me, then you don't return. But then, right up to Brahmaloka, there is return, Krishna says. Right up to Brahmaloka. Why? Because all these planetary systems within this material creation, they are controlled by the three modes of material nature. Very gross or very subtle, but still the modes are there. In Sattva Guna also, in a very subtle form, Rajoguna and Tamoguna are present. So a person in Sattva Guna also can fall down. That means even at the level of Sattva Guna, that enjoying tendencies, that attachment to matter and the desire to enjoy through matter is still there in a very, very subtle form, even in the Sattva Guna person. So, but Krishna says you come to Visuddha Sattva, Traigunya Vishaya Veda, Nistraigunya Bhavarti. He says, all the Vedic scriptures are talking only in terms of elevating you to Sattva Guna. And in Sattva Guna, what happens? You may go right up to Brahmaloka, you may go to Swargaloka, you can enjoy various punyas, and you will have no desire to execute sinful action. You will always be in alignment with the Vedic injunctions. You will not violate them. You will have no inclination to violate. Are you understanding this? Some people have no inclination to tell lie. Some people no inclination to eat meat. No inclination to cause any violence to anyone. Can you imagine? That's Sattva Guna. You can rise. You can rise like that. So if you have no sinful tendencies, then your life is also like a smooth stream. There is no suffering. Whatever money you need, it is always there. Whatever health you need, it is always there. What is the pleasure, whatever you need, it is always there. Because you have no sinful tendency. Vedas can guide you to that. If you follow the Vedas nicely, it will elevate you to a level of Sattva Guna where there will be no suffering except birth, old age, disease, death. This has to be encountered. But then these also will not give you as much suffering as it does to a Rajoguni person or a Tamoguni person. You have only good thoughts, positive thoughts always emerging in your heart. So you don't suffer. But Krishna is telling, so the three modes can give you at best existence in Brahmaloka. But then that is also cyclical. There is coming and going. That means the time factor is present. You see, you remember I told you in the beginning, the material creation is agitated by time factor. Krishna in the form of time factor agitates. And then the material creation, maintenance, destruction. Creation, maintenance, destruction. The cycle is going on. But in the spiritual world, eternal time exists. Eternal time. Always present tense. There is nothing like, see, the sense of present, past, future tense, it creates karma for us, vasanas for us, desires, action, and results like that. But in spiritual world, everything is simply manifestation of bliss, joy only. Whatever happens there, it happens only to create waves of joy. You know, it's a ocean of bliss. The entire internal energy is an ocean of bliss. And whatever happens there is waves in that ocean of bliss. And if the ocean is bliss, then what are the waves? They are also bliss only. So the entire spiritual world, it is not that it is dull. You know, some people imagine, oh, so it's all peace only. Many people I have asked, they say the highest is peace only, not happiness, because happiness comes and goes according to their understanding. And happiness is replaced by misery, and then it goes on like that. They cannot imagine higher than that, but they don't understand. God is capable of doing this. This material world is full of defects. Why? Because the Lord intended it that way. Not that Lord is incapable. He intended this material world to be like this. So yes, intended the spiritual world to be the way it is, where he enjoys and all the other souls enjoy in complete bliss and all the actions happening. So to know more details of what's going on, spiritual world, you can read Brihad Bhagavatamritam. Brihad Bhagavatamritam, the book written by Sanatana Goswami. English translation is available. His Holiness Bhanu Swami Maharaj has rendered the English translation. It's an amazing book. It will help you to understand what is Vaikuntha, what is Ayodhya in the spiritual world, what is Mathura, Dwarka, and Goloka, all these things, you will be able to understand what is going on there. So relishable, even though, as Mataji was saying sometime back, I don't know exactly what it means. This is my theoretical understanding. Like that, even though we don't know it by experience, but by reading that book, you'll be able to greatly appreciate what is in store for us. Because most unfortunately, most of the people in this material world are impersonalist. That's why Prabhupada wrote his own Pranati Mantra. Because all Westerners, what do they know to write Pranati Mantra? So Prabhupada wrote his own. And what did he write? Nirvishesha Sunyavadi Paschatya Desha Tarini. Nirvishesha, to say that God has no form, no qualities, no pastimes, like that. Nirvishesha. Shunyavadi, or simply to say nothing, Buddha. Nothing really exists. Everything is simply Maya. Like that. He says, Paschatya Desha, the entire Western world was under these wrong philosophies. And he saved them. Paschatya Desha, Tharine. You saved the Western world. Actually, not only the Western world, because of colonization or anything, our India is also full of Mayavad or impersonalism or Shunyavad. So Prabhupada has come to save us from that, to give you the knowledge of the internal energy, which is the highest secret. Rajavidya, Rajaguhyam, Pavitram, Idam Uttamam. Krishna says, Rajavidya, Rajaguhyam is the highest secret, because no one in this world can understand that there is a spiritual world which is eternally in existence. It did not come into existence at some point of time or will go out of existence. In fact, time doesn't exist there. Time is a slave there. Here, we are slaves of time. But there, time is a slave and is engaged in serving whoever is present there through the agency of Yoga Maya. Okay, thank you. So then further, what else is there in the 4th chapter? Hare Krishna. For those who joined a little later, the participants are giving points. What is there in the 4th chapter? Because we have all read it. So we are just exchanging like that. The points will come from the participants only, and then we will discuss it. So all of you can contribute. What is there in the 4th chapter? Up to now, we have seen how Supreme Lord gave an introduction of himself in the 4th chapter. First time, no, 3 chapters we have gone through. 4th chapter, the Lord is telling to Arjuna how he is supreme and how he is a supreme absolute truth and how he is always in existence. And simply by knowing his transcendental birth and his transcendental activities, we can also reach a similar nature. That means we will become transcendental. And we were discussing what is transcendental. That is, it is beyond the 3 modes. We discussed what are these modes, how to understand the modes, and how the transcendental means we are actually beyond the 3 modes, and that is the goal of our existence. So most people, because of impersonalistic tendencies of the world today, they think transcendental means Brahman, simply no action, no variety, nothing, simply peace. But we understand with the help of our Vaishnava Acharyas that beyond this Brahman, there is the internal energy created spiritual world, which is eternally in existence. It doesn't come and go out of existence. It is eternally in existence. And once the soul enters there, it is in eternal exchange of love with Krishna and all other devotees of Krishna. There is absolutely no competition. There is no struggle for existence. It is all simply waves of bliss. One after the other, waves of bliss is rising and falling, and all the souls, along with Krishna, they are enjoying this. So these points we have discussed. Further, whatever is there in the 4th chapter, we can continue to discuss. We are not going shloka by shloka. So kindly, you contribute and then we relish.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare
Krishna says that to the extent of one surrenders to him, he will reward them as accordingly, Prabhuji.
How do you understand this, Mataji?
like, Brahmavadis are there. So they believe in the effulgence of Brahma that is merging into the Brahman Jyoti, and Paramatma, the yogis are there. They believe in that Paramatma part of Lord, and devotees, they believe in the ultimate, that is the two-handed form of Krishna, that is Bhagavan form. So Krishna, according to their the perception of Supreme Lord, he will reward them, Prabhuji, the bhakti.
So
To that
is
person.
Krishna directly involved in each and every soul's actions?
As Chaitya Guru Prabhuji, he guides from inside, Prabhuji. And he will make sufficient arrangements. If a soul sincerely desires for the knowledge, he will make arrangements for a guru.
Okay. So what is the difference between a devotee and a non-devotee when we read this shloka? Are they all the same from this shloka?
As we know that Krishna is impartial, he is not partial to anyone. There is no such thing like a devotee or non-devotee like that. But when one loves Krishna from the, like, when one understands his original situation and position as a eternal servant to the Lord Krishna, so he surrenders to him. So obviously Krishna will reward him accordingly, Prabhuji. It's not that Krishna dislikes non-devotees or non-devotee. That doesn't exist, Prabhuji. All are is part and parcel only.
Okay. So, so is there a distinction at all between, or it is all Yayatamam Prapadyate?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
I think, Prabhuji, the devotees depend more on the Lord for everything, totally surrender and dependence. That makes him different from a non-devotee and devotee. For everything, he surrenders and depend on Krishna. For every, he calls out to Krishna for everything, include Krishna in every day-to-day life, like that, Prabhuji, I feel.
Yeah, we have to appreciate this distinction. Even Krishna says, I am not interested in this material world. So in that sense, he is not interested in the souls which are absorbed in sense gratification. That job is handed over to material energy only, Mahamaya. They are all under the Mahamaya. Then what is the role of the Chaitya Guru, Paramatma? Paramatma is simply witness and permitter. That's all. He is not guiding. He is simply a witness and permitting, because the soul cannot command the material energy, even though I think I am the controller of material energy. That illusion Krishna allows us to have. Krishna allows us to have by remaining hidden in our heart as Paramatma. And he tells the external energy, okay, go ahead, fulfill this desire. And we think, oh, I did something great. It's all Paramatma mediation is there. The soul will desire. Paramatma, who is like the nose and the flower. You remember this example? The nose does not touch the flower, but the nose gets the smell, what is fragrance is rising from the flower. Similarly, the Paramatma knows what is in the heart of the soul. And then he says, all right, you allow it or don't allow it. So this is the only role he plays. Until we don't listen, he doesn't speak to us. He's totally detached. Krishna makes it clear again and again that I am totally detached from what is out. This material world, one of Prabhupada's disciples asked this question to Prabhupada. Why did Krishna create this material world? Do anybody remember this? And what did Prabhupada answer?
Yes, Prabhuji. It is for our desires and enjoyment. We created it.
Prabhupada said, you created. Why you blame Krishna for it? Because Paramatma is only executing our desires. So you cannot blame Krishna for doing it, So who is the cause of this material creation?
We are the cause.
We are the cause.
Living entity.
Yeah. Jiva is the cause of material creation. The Lord is simply making it happen. Because the soul wants to turn away from Krishna. Krishna instantly charges. That's why we say he fulfills the desire of everyone. Krishna fulfills the desire of everyone. Even in this material world. But not that the materially absorbed souls, Krishna is personally reciprocating. No. That is handled by simply one law. What is that law?
Prabhuji, can you repeat your question?
The entire material creation is handled by the agency of one law only, not by Krishna personally. What is that law?
Karma, Prabhuji?
Karma. That's it. Karma. Whatever you do, reaction will come. Entire Mahamaya is so perfectly aligned for that. Which karma should come when, she will decide. When to give what, she will decide. See, there is a proverb in Tamil, Murpahal Sayyan, Pirpahal Vilayam. That means what you sow in the forenoon, you will reap in the afternoon. It's not, it doesn't mean that it will happen like that. No? If I eat hot chilies, my tongue will burn. That's an instant reaction. Then I will be next time very, very careful. I should not eat these hot chilies. No. But life is not like that, because if everything is like that, black and white, then the souls will have no tendency to enjoy. Even though they want to enjoy, they will not have the freedom to enjoy. So what Krishna has done is raised a nice veil over everything, so that even though we are only experiencing the results of our own actions, but we think otherwise. We think, no, this happened to me because of somebody's fault. This person behaved like that person did like that. If I had done something differently, I would have got a different result. Like that, it allows you to experience a sense of freedom. I can do this, I can do that. I can violate the law and I can escape. Don't we think like that? I have a very powerful person in a high position. He will save me, like that. So the soul wants to experience that freedom. So Krishna has created a material world which is a prison without walls. There is no wall for this prison. But still nobody wants to escape from this prison. So that is how it's called Maithuni Agar. You have the desire itself is the prison. Desire keeps you imprisoned. Material desires. Not that you become desireless. Material desire keeps you imprisoned. So Yeyatama Prapatyate is at the level of, as a devotee, we understand the rasas, Dasya, Sakya, Vatsalya, Madhurya. The Lord reciprocates accordingly. Depending on how the soul develops a love towards Krishna, a particular bhava, then Krishna will reciprocate according to that. The entire spiritual world is reciprocation. As one of you very nicely said, Krishna says, my devotees are always in my heart and I am always in their heart. And then Krishna also says, I don't know anything except my devotees, and my devotees know nothing but me. So very beautifully, in many places, Krishna would say like this, or he would say, Naham Tishtami Vaikunthe. I am not in Vaikuntha. I am not in the hearts of yogis. Wherever my devotees are glorifying me, I am present there, Narada, he says. So the Lord has so much eagerness to be among devotees. And when they glorify, the Lord gets so much happiness, even though a pure devotee, you will see in Madhurya Kadambini, the pure devotee will say, oh Lord, in the name of praise, I have insulted you so much because I have not seen you. Without seeing you, I am glorifying that your lips are red like coral, your eyes are like lotus petals, your hair is black, silky, wavy hair, or I say your body is like a storm cloud, like that. But I say, such an insult. None of these comparisons are doing justice to a description of you. Oh Lord, forgive me. So it's not that our praises are very great or anything, but Lord gets so much happiness because it's like a blabbering of a baby. So the Lord appreciates that. So the relationship that develops between the Lord and the devotee cannot be explained. It's something very, very extraordinary. The Lord really develops so much attachment to his devotee. Otherwise, why the Lord will say, I know nothing but my devotees. So there is this nice story. One sadhu, one Brahmana, is performing very difficult austerities in the forest. And Narada Muni is passing that side. So this sadhu is noticing. He says, Narada Muni, where are you going? I am going to Vaikuntha. Okay, please find out when the Lord will give me liberation. I am doing so much of tapasya. When I receive my goal, when the Lord will give me my fruit. All right. So Narada Muni was passing again. He saw one cobbler. And the cobbler also saw Narada Muni. And he said, same question. When will the Lord give me his mercy? So Narada Muni went to the Lord. And he asked the Lord, these two people, that sadhu who is performing very difficult austerities, he asked this question. So the Lord said, I don't remember him. I don't know who you are talking about. I don't know. When it came to the cobbler, he will, at the end of his lifetime, he will come to me. He will come to me. And then that sadhu, I don't know when he will come to you. Maybe millions of lifetimes. I don't know. I don't know him. So Narada Muni was surprised because that sadhu is always engaged in austerities. And this cobbler is simply going on with his normal life. So Narada Muni said, there must be some mistake, Lord, you think? Lord said, no, there is no mistake. I don't know. Then to give understanding to Narada Muni, he said, you go and tell both these people, when they ask you what the Lord is doing, you tell them that the Lord is passing the elephant through the eye of a needle. Through the eye of a needle. And tell them that once this job is done, the Lord will give you darshan. So Narada Muni came down and he went to the sadhu, and the same thing happened when what the Lord is doing. He replied, passing elephant. They know that sadhu became very angry. What nonsense is this? How can anyone be able to pass a whole elephant through the eye of a needle? Why would the Lord be engaged in such a silly activity? And how can he ever come to me? I am giving up all this austerity. I am going back. Whatever life is left, let me enjoy. The cobbler was told the same thing. The elephant through a needle. The cobbler became ecstatic and he started dancing. And Narada Muni stopped him and said, Harry, do you believe this? That the Lord will be able to pass the elephant through a needle? The cobbler pointed out, look, Narada Muni, this is a banyan tree under which I am sitting. Look at the fruits. They are so tiny. The tree is so huge. The fruits are so tiny. And each fruit contains hundreds of seeds. And each seed contains a whole banyan tree. The Lord who can create such a tree, such a seed, why can't he pass millions of elephants through the eye of a needle? I have no doubt at all. And the Lord appeared immediately. So, see, it is the level of conviction that we develop about the Lord that is called God consciousness, and that's called realization. We can collect any amount of theoretical knowledge, but this deep conviction, what the cobbler showed, that connected him to the Lord. So he could see the Lord. The God was able to recognize this person. Because Lord only recognizes his devotees. The Lord has nothing to do with others. Simply nothing to do. They are all handled by the law of karma, material energy, and whatever needs to be done. But the moment the soul gets a seed of bhakti lata bija, then the Lord becomes enriched. Then the Paramatma within transforms into Bhagavan. Then he begins to guide, then he begins to talk, then he begins to take interest. Why? That seed of bhakti, that has attracted him. It is the seed, the bhakti seed, that actually attracts the Lord. So that is why we must be so much grateful to the devotees who are giving us this iota of faith, Shraddha. That is the thing for which we should be eternally grateful. So this 11th shloka, Ye tamam prapadyante, must be deeply understood. As a devotee, we should experience it in our heart to develop love for Krishna. This is not a mechanical act, Ye tamam prapadyante tam sadaiva vajami. Oh, the Lord has simply no interest. Sometimes we may think like, Lord has no interest. It's mechanical action, no? Like karma theory. This is also karma theory only. If, to the extent I surrender, the Lord will reciprocate to me. So, but basically, it's not like, judge perfectly. The judge will give according to your crime, punishment, according to your good actions, rewards. He is no longer a judge when it comes to a devotee. So this nice example is given when Akbar and Birbal, had this argument. Akbar asked this question: why should the Lord incarnate to protect his devotees? The Lord has unlimited angels. Why can't he send them? And why is the need? So I don't accept that the Lord appears in this material world. Then Birbal did not immediately reply. He waited. Then one day they were taking a pleasure ride on the Ganga in a boat. Akbar's family was present, including a small newborn baby was also there. And the whole retinue in many boats, they were all going in Ganga. And suddenly Birbal picked up that baby and threw into the water. And then so many other servants of Akbar are present. But simply Akbar dived into the water. And he swam and picked up the baby and came back to the boat and very angrily asked Birbal, why did you do that? Then Birbal asked Akbar back, why did you do that? Why did you jump into the water? When you have so many assistants, where was the need? Then Akbar got the message. Because the Lord is personally interested. In fact, it is said, Paritranaya sadhunam vinashaya cha dushkritam dharma samsthapanarthaya sambhavami giri. Actually, even though it says to punish the miscreants and to protect my devotees, I come. But it's not the fact. To punish the miscreants, as Akbar said, very easily the Lord can accomplish through his external energy. There's no need for him to come. But he comes to have wonderful pastimes with his devotees. And through these pastimes, he wants to attract other fallen souls to him. That is the reason he comes. He wants to have wonderful pastimes. He is having them unlimitedly in the spiritual world. But he comes to the material world to display the same pastimes here, by which he can have wonderful happiness exchange with his devotees and also attract the fallen souls to this. That is why Janma Karma Chameti is actually transcendental. The entire pastimes between devotees and the Lord, they are not of this material world. They are completely within your Maya. So the Lord is executing all this here to entice all of us to go back to him. Hare Krishna. So is it time? Oh, I think our time is up now. So thank you very much for participating. I think today we have come to 11th shloka. So we will continue from there tomorrow. Next week, I request all of you to come prepared. The whole chapter you come prepared. Read Prabhupada's purports also, so that we can have a more relishable discussion rather than a theoretical discussion. Let us relish it as devotees. Bhagavad Gita is read by all kinds of people, devotees also read Bhagavad Gita, not devotees also read Bhagavad Gita. But we read in a different perspective. So let us read in a devotee perspective and relish Bhagavad Gita in the coming weeks. So my sincere request to all of you, please read and come prepared. Let us move in that way, not shloka by shloka. Or we can pick up some important shloka. Like you picked up this Yayitamam Prapadyante. There are some other important shlokas also here. Like that we can proceed in future. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Is there any question?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, you said that Krishna will not guide us from inside, like, Chaitya Guru, Prabhuji.
Yeah.
Why is that, Prabhuji? Because I have heard somebody saying that, some Shiksha Guru saying that he from internally he will guide us as Chaitya Guru, and externally he will make arrangements for a spiritual master or like that, gurus.
Yeah, for a devotee, see, because a devotee from sadhaka, we proceed further. So for a devotee, he starts guiding. Then he doesn't act as a Paramatma. Paramatma, basically the definition is neutrality. Paramatma is neutral. So Paramatma only acts as a witness. Upadrishta anumantacha. He is seeing what the soul is seeing, he is also seeing without attachment, and he permits. Whatever desires he has, he permits. That is the only role of Paramatma. Otherwise, If Paramatma becomes non-neutral, he becomes Bhagavan. Paramatma is, he is having no particular attachment or detachment here. But Bhagavan is not like that. Bhagavan is attached to his devotee. He wants to get him back. So that way, see, either you will say that if Paramatma speaks, non-devotee will not listen only. Non-devotee is absorbed in his own desires. So, Paramatma, why you will talk to a deaf man? Is it not? Why Paramatma will talk to a deaf man? If you hear, he will talk. And if you are very hard of hearing, then you will hear less only. But as your hearing improves, you will hear more and more of the Lord talking. So even though it is the same Lord, but we say Paramatma is a reflection. And he acts very neutrally. But Bhagavan takes over when you turn to devotion. So, is it okay, Mataji?
Okay, Prabhuji. I had a confusion. Okay.
Yeah,
I thought Paramatma inside us is guiding us. Okay, Prabhuji.
But then he is Bhagavan.
Okay,
When he guides, he is called Bhagavan.
Okay. Okay. That means for a devotee, it is Bhagavan.
He is Bhagavan.
Okay.
For devotee, no karma,
Okay.
The law of karma doesn't function for devotee.
Oh,
Because Bhagavan has taken over, no?
okay, Prabhuji. Thank you.
So Mahamaya Devi has no role. She has handed over. Then Bhagavan takes over.
Okay. But that will be in a later stage, na Prabhuji, not in the initial stage.
Right from the initial stage, when the seed of bhakti is sown into the heart.
Okay.
Because you hear, no? Now you hear, no?
Yes, Prabhuji.
That's it.
Okay.
When we hear, that means Bhagavan. It's not
Okay,
Paramatma. Yeah, Paramatma is just a witness. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, yes.
The law of karma will not function for a devotee, but when a devotee is not in Krishna consciousness, sometimes, that time also he'll be away from this law of karma.
Yes. Once a devotee is, a devotee has accepted Krishna, then from that point onwards, Krishna controls everything. Even though I am attending some other classes very beautifully, one devotee is taking these classes, he gives the example of, supposing you are in a multi-story apartment and someone is having a white Innova car and he wants to sell it and you want to buy it. So you have purchased it and the RC book, your name change has been done. But the car is still parked in the same slot, where the other fellow was parking. You have not moved it. It is still there. And you are not making any changes in the car. You are happy with the car as it is. So for externally, it looks like the same car only. But if you look at the RC book, then the name changes up. Similarly, it may look as though nothing has changed in your life. It may externally look as though nothing has changed in your life. But the fact is, devotee's life is taken care by Krishna. So this we have to understand, that whatever karma, sometimes Krishna may allow karma to act, but that is not karma, that is Krishna giving. Sometimes he may change the karma. It's all left to Krishna. Like the car is bought by me. Sometimes I may repaint the car. I may change the steering cover or seat cover, or I may some upholsteries I may change, or I may not change also. So when a devotee surrenders to Krishna, then Krishna will decide what to do next. So devotee simply Goptrutve Varanam Tata. He simply, Krishna is my only protector. Krishna is my only savior. In that mode, the devotee surrenders. After that, everything is only taken care by Krishna. So this question of whether it is Mahamaya or Yogamaya, etc., the point is very clear that in a devotee's case, he is perfectly under Krishna's protection. Krishna takes care. After that, he will orchestrate the events in the life of the devotee in a way that he can come back to him. Is it okay, Mataji?
Yes, Prabhu. Hari Bol. Thank you.
Externally, nothing may change. Externally. But internally, something has changed. Why? Because the devotee has accepted Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, previously, a few minutes back, you said is Paramatma different from Bhagavan? You said Paramatma is in our heart, but Bhagwan is changing everything, is acting everything for a devotee. So is Paramatma different from Bhagwan, Prabhuji?
Yeah. See, the supreme absolute truth is known in three aspects. So we know truth, what is truth and what is false, we know. But in truth
Yes.
also, there are so many grades of truth. So when you go to the supreme absolute truth, matta parataram na anyat. So there is a supreme absolute truth. There is no higher truth or any other truth equal to this truth. That supreme absolute truth is Krishna. But he is known only by his devotees. Okay.
Yes.
So
Okay.
we say materialistic people and transcendentalist. People are classified into two. One is materialistic, other is transcendental. So transcendental people are interested to go beyond matter. Among these transcendentalists, we have three types of people. One is jnanis, another is yogis, and another one is bhakta. As far as the jnani is concerned, he will come to know only Brahman. Brahman means the undifferentiated background of all creation. Undifferentiated means it is like a white screen. If you go to a movie hall, before the show starts, it's only blank white screen.
Yes.
The movie runs on it. So that white screen, you can say it is Brahman. Nirgun, Nirakar, nothing. That is Brahman. So the jnani is interested in that. So that is only one aspect of Krishna. It is simply the effulgence that is flowing out of the body of Krishna. Higher than Brahman is the Paramatma realization, which is a conscious entity. They realize Brahman as, it's simply nothing. Whereas Paramatma is the conscious being which is within the heart of everyone. He is actually the reflection of the Supreme Lord. But he acts neutrally. He doesn't display his presence. Right?
But he's a Bhagwan. But he is also a Bhagwan.
Not a Bhagavan. There is only one Bhagavan.
One Bhagwan, yes. But Paramatma, so now I understand like Paramatma and Bhagwan are same. Is that true?
There is only one Paramatma and there is only one Bhagavan and they are the same.
Okay.
Even though you may think you have a Paramatma and I have a Paramatma. No, there is only one Paramatma. Like, if you keep 100 parts of water under the sun, you will see 100 suns.
Suns, yes.
But there is one sun only. Similarly, the one Paramatma is completely pervading entire material creation and is within every soul also. So that Paramatma, who is a reflection of the Lord, acts neutrally.
Okay.
That means, neutral means as good as no. He might as well not be there. He's nothing. But as Bhagavan, he is attached to the soul. He loves the soul. He wants to get the soul back. He wants to help him, guide him, show him the way back to him. He wants to take him back to spiritual world. Once the soul goes to spiritual world, Krishna will give him a spiritual body, you see. Here in the material world, the soul has a material body and it is struggling here. So
yes.
Krishna wants to show him how to come back to his internal energy, to spiritual world. There Krishna will give a beautiful spiritual body that will never perish. Like the soul never perishes, the spiritual body will never perish. It is eternally identity of the soul. So that way Bhagavan, the same Paramatma acts as Bhagavan. They are the same person.
Okay.
Brahman, Paramatma, Bhagavan, they are all the same.
Same. Okay. Okay, thank you very much, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
So now it is time to launch